They tell you to dream big, but what they never taught you is how to build what you dream. You've been walking through life like a blind locksmith, fumbling at the gates of possibility, holding the right keys, but never knowing the sequence, not realizing that the door isn't locked, it's encoded. And the universe, it's not guessing, it's not random, it's patterned, programmed, precise. Every desire you've ever had, every goal that haunts you at night, every vision that whispers to you in silence, it already exists. Not in some fantasy land, but in the unseen blueprints behind reality. You don't need to beg for it. You don't need permission. You need mastery. You need to reverse engineer the code. The blueprint is hidden, but not from you. The future you want isn't something you create. It's something you uncover. It's already there, fully formed, fully alive, in another layer of consciousness, waiting for your command. You've seen glimpses of it in your imagination. You've tasted it in your daydreams. But your mistake? You think those visions are fantasies. They're not. They're data packets, signals, proof of what's waiting for you in the dark. The universe doesn't tease. It transmits. And every image, every pull, every heartbeat towards something greater is a clue. Mental models are your map. Reality bends to those who can see beneath the surface, and the surface is a lie. What you see is nothing but an echo of the unseen. You must stop reacting and start decoding. To reverse engineer any dream, you must build models in your mind stronger than the chaos around you. You must become an architect of outcomes, not a slave to circumstances. Ask yourself, what does the end result feel like? What pieces must exist for it to stand? What principles must be honored for it to last? No emotion, no guesswork. This is war, and in war, we strategize. Learn from those who have walked the path, then reverse their steps. Trace it back. Dismantle the mechanics. Break down the engine of their success until it's in your hands. Because once you know how it's built, you can build it again. Faster, stronger, your way. Visualization is a weapon. This is not wishful thinking. This is construction. When you visualize with precision, you are running simulations. You are placing materials in the subconscious vault. You are programming reality itself. Every repetition in the mind creates scaffolding in the unseen. Every emotion aligned with clarity etches deeper into the pattern. Visualize the end, not vaguely, not someday, but vividly, specifically, what it smells like, sounds like, moves like, burns like. You must become obsessed with the outcome, so detailed that your mind doesn't question it. It executes it. Your brain doesn't know the difference between imagination and memory. So give it memories of a future that hasn't happened yet. The right sequence unlocks the gate. Most people have the keys. They have talent, passion, even a plan. But they don't have the sequence. And if the code is out of order, nothing opens. That's why some people grind for years and stay broke. That's why others seem to leap overnight, because they found the order. You don't build a skyscraper by pouring concrete before drawing the blueprint. You don't write a symphony by slamming on every instrument at once. There's a code, there's a flow, there's a formula, and when you find it, the locks break open. Doors appear where there were only walls. Resources flow to you. People show up. Circumstances bend to match your frequency. But if you ignore the order, you'll keep hitting the wrong keys, breaking yourself against a door that was never locked, just encrypted. Everything is already here. This isn't mysticism. This is mechanics. The life you want isn't waiting in the future. It's buried in the now, encoded in actions, thoughts, habits, beliefs, and decisions. Everything you've ever wanted. The money, the purpose, the power. It's already encoded in this timeline, but it's encrypted. And the only way to decode it is to reverse engineer it. Study the end like it's already yours. Visualize it until your subconscious bends toward it like gravity. Then break it down, sequence by sequence, model by model, and build it. Not once, but as many times as you choose. Because mastery doesn't end at one success. It begins there. Now you understand the truth. The dream is not something you chase. It's something you unlock. It already exists, but it's encrypted. And unless you learn to decode the vision, you'll spend your life stuck in loops, grinding, guessing, hoping, while the door stays shut. So how do you break the code? How do you take what exists in the unseen and force it into the physical? You follow the blueprint, not blindly, but with ruthless precision. Here's the 7-step process to reverse engineer any dream into your reality. Step 1. Download the vision with precision. You cannot build what you cannot see, and you cannot sustain what you have not deeply imagined. Most people wander through life with blurry ambitions, vague desires like, I want to be successful, or I want freedom. But those phrases are hollow without structure. That's why most dreams die in the wishing phase. They never got specific enough to form a blueprint. You must download your dream, not as an abstract fantasy, but as a concrete, multi-sensory vision of completion. Imagine yourself not as a dreamer, but as an architect. When an architect builds a skyscraper, he doesn't walk to the site and hope it all comes together. He builds the entire thing in his mind first. He knows every inch of steel, every window, every pressure point. The building exists in full before a single brick is laid. This is how you must treat your dream. Sit with the vision. Carve it into stone. You need to become intimate with your dream. Study it like a sacred manuscript. Go deeper than the superficial, I want to make 6 figures, or I want to be fit. No. What does your life look like when the dream is real? What does your body feel like when you wake up in it? What do you hear? Who are you with? Where are you standing? What kind of person have you become? Your mind must download the dream in Ultra HD. This is not optional. This is programming. Because the subconscious mind is your operating system, and it doesn't follow vague commands. It doesn't know how to interpret someday. It knows exact sequences, specific targets, emotional anchors. So sit down. No distractions. Close your eyes and go there. Not once, but daily. Speak it. Write it. Breathe it. Words are not just communication. Words are creation. After visualizing, speak your dream out loud. Give it language. Give it commands. Say it like it's already done. Write it in brutal detail. Etch it into your journals like a prophecy. Why? Because repetition hardwires belief. The more clearly you speak it and write it, the more real it becomes in your system. You're not manifesting by hoping. You're manifesting by installing. Treat your dream like sacred code. Protect it from dilution. Do not let the opinions of the lazy poison your download. What you visualize and articulate repeatedly becomes inevitable. Feel the dream with emotional voltage. Here's the hidden key most people never understand. Emotion is voltage. You can visualize your dream all day long, but if there's no feeling, no energy behind the image, your subconscious won't accept it as real. It's like trying to start an engine with no fuel. You must evoke the emotional frequency of the end result. Feel the pride, the power, the freedom, the inner peace. Let that emotional charge fuse the vision into your nervous system. Your body doesn't know the difference between a real memory and a vividly imagined one. That's why elite performers visualize victories in advance. They're literally building muscle memory for success before they ever compete. So what happens when you do that with your entire life? Your subconscious starts to adapt. It sees the vision as the new norm, and reality begins to twist itself to match that frequency. The warning: sloppy vision leads to sloppy outcomes. If your vision is inconsistent, your results will be unstable. If your dream shifts every week, your energy is split. If you don't get crystal clear, the universe will reflect your confusion back at you. That's why step 1 is not a casual suggestion. It's the foundation. Imagine trying to build a bridge with a blurry blueprint. Imagine a surgeon operating with a vague idea of where the heart is. Would you trust the outcome? No. So why treat your life's dream with any less precision? The assignment: 1. Take 30 minutes in silence. No phone, no music, just your mind. 2. Visualize the end goal as if it already happened. Where are you? What do you look like? Who's with you? How do you feel? 3. Write down the entire scene in brutal detail. Describe it like a movie script. Make it real. Make it visceral. 4. Speak it aloud every morning and every night. Not with desperation, with certainty. It's already yours. 5. Feel it. Let the emotion burn into your bones. This is the download. This is your code. Until the vision is sharper than your current reality. Until you can walk through it in your mind with your eyes closed. You're not ready for step 2. Final words for step 1. You were never meant to build from thin air. The dream already exists in another layer of reality. Your job is to download it in full fidelity, to see it so clearly that reality has no choice but to conform. This is not daydreaming. This is engineering. And clarity is your first weapon. Sharpen it, or be devoured by vagueness. You have the vision. Now burn it into your identity, and only then, when the dream is no longer out there, but already alive within you, can we move to the next phase. Reverse engineering the outcome. Step 2. Reverse engineer the end result. So you've seen it now. The dream, the finished product, the reality that already exists on another plane. But here's the truth. No one tells you. Dreams don't come with instructions. You're handed the image, not the blueprint. And that's where most people fall apart. They stare at the mountain peak in awe, but never map the climb. They obsess over outcomes and ignore the sequence. So they stay stuck, chasing shadows, not building systems. But you're not here to wish. You're here to build. And that means reversing the path from finished product. Back to your exact coordinates right now. Begin at the end. Work backward with ruthless logic. Close your eyes and go to the vision. Now frame it. What systems would have to be in place for this reality to exist? What kind of daily behaviors would have to be hardwired? What network of people would need to be in your circle? What kind of person would you need to become? Mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Don't just fantasize. Dissect. Like a forensic scientist working a crime scene, or a hacker working backwards through encrypted code. You break it down piece by piece, until what seemed mystical becomes mechanical. The only reason your dream feels distant is because you haven't built the map. Unpack the layers. Find the structural pillars. Every outcome is built on pillars. Remove one, and the whole structure collapses. If your dream is financial freedom, what are the structural pillars? A reliable income-generating machine. Mastery of budgeting and investment. Emotional detachment from unnecessary spending. Systems that run without your constant input. If your dream is becoming an elite athlete, nutrition protocols, strength and endurance routines, daily recovery and mindset training. Identity built around performance, not just passion. There is always a blueprint, but you must earn it through awareness. The dream isn't built on hope, it's built on systems. And the faster you identify those core systems, the faster you can start installing them. Work in reverse timelines. Most people think in straight lines. That's a mistake. Time isn't linear when it comes to building a vision. You must create backwards timelines. Ask, if this dream were already real, what would I have done 90 days before? What decisions would I have made 6 months before that? What momentum would I have created a year prior? This is reverse chronology, and it's one of the most powerful forms of strategic planning. The mind loves clarity. But if you're always starting at point A, you'll never understand how to reach point Z. Start at Z, then trace every step in reverse. You're not a wanderer, you're a tactician. Reverse mapping lets you create the path forward by unfolding it from the future. Break the dream into micro skills and micro identities. The dream you downloaded isn't one giant leap. It's 1,000 tiny upgrades. What skills must be acquired? What beliefs must be shattered? What habits must be constructed? For example, to build a business, you'll need sales psychology, marketing mechanics, operational systems, financial literacy, leadership development, emotional resilience. Each one of these is a code. Each code is made of subroutines, skills, habits, and decisions. Your job? Extract every code from the vision, then break each one into tiny trainable parts. You're not becoming your dream in one shot. You're upgrading layer by layer. The identity shift is non-negotiable. Here's the part no one wants to hear. The version of you who dreams is not the version of you who achieves. You must undergo internal death. Shed the skin of who you've been. Kill off the distractions, the weaknesses, the comfort cravings. Ask, who do I have to stop being to become the person who lives this vision every day? Reverse engineering is not just mechanical, it's existential. It forces you to confront the gaps between the imagined and the embodied. This is transformation at the cellular level, and it's painful, but necessary, because no blueprint matters if the builder is still thinking like the broke version of himself. The assignment: 1. Write down your end goal again in vivid detail. Visualize it until you feel it pulling you. 2. List every system, skill, and belief that must be in place for that outcome to be real. 3. Break each system down into components and sub-skills. 5. Create a timeline in reverse. Start at the dream. Work backward to today. Ask, what would the person who achieved this be doing daily that I am not? This step is your blueprint extraction phase. You are now reverse engineering destiny. You are no longer a reactor. You are a designer. Final words for step 2. If you skip this step, you stay stuck in fantasy. If you master it, you gain access to the code. This is the foundation of strategic manifestation. It's not about hoping something will appear. It's about decoding the mechanics of the unseen. When you reverse engineer with precision, your dream stops feeling impossible and starts feeling inevitable. The path becomes clear, the work becomes targeted, and every action becomes a key in the lock. Now that you've extracted the blueprint, you're ready to begin building it with mental frameworks and powerful models. Which leads us to step 3. Build mental models and frameworks that turn chaos into clarity. Step 3. Build mental models and frameworks. You've downloaded the vision. You've reverse engineered the outcome. Now comes the part where most people self-destruct, the chaos phase. Because even with a clear goal and mapped out path, life doesn't hand you clean instructions. It hands you pressure, fire, distractions, confusion, doubt, failure. That's why you don't just need a dream. You need frameworks. You need mental models that turn uncertainty into structure, chaos into clarity, and setbacks into fuel. Without them, you'll drown in complexity. With them, you'll command reality like code. What are mental models? Mental models are not motivational quotes. They're not habits. They are internal frameworks for thinking. They're how the elite navigate complexity, how they make high-stakes decisions, how they remain calm in the storm. They're the operating systems beneath your beliefs, the architecture of your perception, the lens that controls what you see, and more importantly, what you do next. Without mental models, every obstacle looks like a dead end. With them, every obstacle becomes a puzzle, and puzzles have solutions. Why most people fail without realizing it? They react instead of structuring. They get emotional instead of analyzing. They move faster, thinking more action equals more success. But all they're doing is pouring gasoline on the fire of their confusion. If you want to reverse engineer your dream into reality, you need to become a strategic thinker. You must install mental scaffolding that can hold the weight of the vision. This isn't optional. It's survival. You are the architect of your operating system. Imagine trying to build a spaceship with no design software. Imagine trying to play chess while thinking like a toddler. That's what most people are doing. Chasing billion-dollar dreams with dollar store mental software. But you're going to upgrade the system. You're going to think like an engineer, move like a sniper, and execute like a general. That means installing key mental models on purpose. Core models to install. 1. First principles. Thinking. Don't copy. Don't imitate. Break every idea down to the root truths. Then rebuild from the ground up. Ask, what is absolutely true here? What are the unquestionable facts? What happens if I remove all assumptions? This model strips away noise and gives you laser clarity. Second-order consequences. Don't just think about what happens next. Think about what happens after that. Every choice has ripples. Most people only see the splash. You must see the wave. This prevents short-term decisions that sabotage long-term goals. 3. 80-20 rule. Pareto principle. Not all actions matter equally. Usually 20% of your input creates 80% of your output. Identify the high-leverage tasks. Eliminate everything else, or automate it. This model frees your time and focuses your energy where it counts. Quarta. Inversion. Thinking. Instead of asking how to succeed, ask, how could I fail? Then eliminate those pathways. Avoiding stupidity is often more powerful than chasing brilliance. This model reduces self-sabotage. Femta OODA loops. Observe, orient, decide, act. Used by fighter pilots. A mental loop to make fast, accurate decisions under pressure. The faster and more accurately you can run this loop, the more you dominate. Install it, train it, use it daily. Your mind needs a decision-making architecture. Life is war, and in war, uncertainty kills. Every day you wake up, life throws you noise, options, and pressure. Without mental models, you'll break, you'll freeze, or worse, move in the wrong direction confidently. But with decision frameworks in place, you'll move like a machine. You'll remove emotion from logic. You'll respond instead of react. And most importantly, you'll make decisions that are aligned with your end blueprint, not your temporary feelings. The assignment. 1. Choose 3 core mental models that resonate with your current vision. Study them. Master them. Apply them daily. 2. Journal every major decision you make for 7 days. Ask yourself, what model am I using to make this choice? 3. Identify one major chaos point in your life. Now run it through a model. Can you simplify it? Reframe it? Reverse it? 4. Create a personal framework list. Your battle-tested models for life, business, health, relationships. Keep them close. Refer to them often. Refine them through experience. This is not fluff. This is your internal command center. Final words for step 3. You will never build a dream without pressure. You will never escape confusion without clarity. And you will never survive complexity without structure. Mental models are how you think clearly in the fog of war. They are how you stay dangerous when everyone else breaks. If step 1 gave you the vision, if step 2 gave you the map, then step 3 gives you the navigation system to move through reality with power. Now that your internal structure is strong, it's time to build the external structure that supports it. Step 4. Create the right environment for execution. Step 4. Create the right environment for execution. You've downloaded the vision. You've mapped the reverse-engineered sequence. You've installed the mental models. But if you try to build a palace in a swamp, it sinks every time. This is the hard truth. You will never rise above your environment for long. Not because you're weak, not because you don't want it enough, but because your surroundings silently shape your identity, actions, energy, and beliefs. Environment is not decoration. It's not aesthetics. It's the operating field of your destiny. Your environment either reinforces the blueprint or slowly erodes it until the vision dies a quiet death in the background of distractions, bad habits, and toxic influences. Your environment is a mirror. You don't act from willpower. You act from triggers. And your environment is filled with them. Each wall, each screen, each conversation, each sound, it all sends signals to your subconscious. So let me ask you, what are your current surroundings programming you for? Mediocrity, comfort, confusion, or absolute clarity and execution? Most people build castles in their minds, while living in graveyards of dead dreams, surrounded by noise and clutter and energy vampires. No, if you're serious about becoming who you were meant to be, you must reforge the battlefield. Physical, digital, social, internal, all of it. Your environment is multidimensional. You cannot just clean your desk and expect transformation. You must clean your ecosystem. You must engineer your surroundings to serve your future self, not your current addictions. Let's break this into 4 components. 1. Physical environment. Shape reality to reflect your identity. Look around. Does your space reflect who you're becoming or who you've been? Remove everything that reflects an old identity. The clutter, The distractions, the comfort traps. Your room should scream focus. Your car should scream discipline. Your kitchen should scream energy. Your closet should scream evolution. This is not minimalism. This is war prep. Your surroundings are either weapons or weaknesses. Choose wisely. 2. Digital environment. Detox the mental pollution. Every scroll, every notification, every tab open. It's a microfracture in your focus. You think it doesn't matter? It matters more than you know. Your digital world is your second brain. And if it's filled with garbage, so is your operating system. Clean your feeds. Ruthlessly unfollow noise. Delete apps that don't serve the mission. Block websites that bleed your time. Install systems instead. Calendar automation, task tracking, AI assistance, habit reminders. Technology should amplify your purpose, not dilute it. 3. Social environment. Guard your mind like a fortress. This is the most dangerous terrain of all. Your circle is not neutral. Every person you interact with is either a catalyst or a corrosion agent. Who do you allow into your space? Who speaks into your vision? Who drains you? Who sharpens you? If they don't align with the version of you you're building, they are a virus to the system. This includes the pessimists, the excuse makers, the subtly jealous, the time wasters, the old identity anchors. You cannot become your future around people who benefit from your past. Cut, replace, elevate. Your future deserves better company. 4. Internal environment. Regulate the mental weather. Your body, your energy, your routines. These are the inner climate of execution. What are you eating? How are you sleeping? Are you moving or sitting in decay? Do your rituals create momentum or confusion? You must treat your body and mind like sacred machinery. Fuel it with discipline. Train it with repetition. Rest it with intention. If your internal environment is toxic, no external change will stick. Self-sabotage will always find its way back in. You must align your physiology with your psychology. Stop trying to outrun the trap. Rebuild it. People ask, how do I stay motivated? Wrong question. Ask, how do I build an environment that makes execution automatic? Because motivation is a mood. Environment is engineering. It doesn't care how you feel. It triggers the behavior anyway. When your surroundings are aligned with the dream, you don't need willpower. The path becomes frictionless. Execution becomes inevitable. The assignment. 1. Do a ruthless audit of your environment in all 4 categories. List what aligns with your future and what doesn't. 2. Remove one toxic element in each category this week. Replace it with something that reinforces your blueprint. 3. Design a physical trigger for execution. A workstation setup, a morning playlist, a do not disturb routine. Make it sacred. 4. Curate your inputs. Fill your feeds, space, and time with information, visuals, and people that embody the vision. Final words for step 4. You can have the clearest vision, the smartest models, the most powerful strategy. But if you live in a cage of chaos, you will stay a prisoner to your surroundings. This is the step most people skip, and it's why they stay stuck. Not because they didn't want it, but because they built the future on the soil of their past. So rip out the roots, rebuild the terrain, and give your dream the ground it needs to grow into reality. Because now that the environment is fortified, you're ready for step 5. Sequence your actions, like code. Step 5. Sequence your actions, Like code. Now the dream is clear. The reverse-engineered blueprint is mapped. The mental models are installed. The environment is forged for execution. And now, most people hit the gas. They think it's go time. They start sprinting in every direction with reckless intensity. And that's where the dream dies. Not from lack of effort, but from lack of sequence. Because in every great machine, every lock, every formula, order matters. You can have all the right ingredients, but if the sequence is wrong, you get chaos. You get failure. You get burnout without breakthrough. This is the truth. You're not building success. You're executing a code. And codes don't respond to motivation. They respond to precision. Execution is not volume. It's order. You've been sold a lie. That hustle equals progress. That effort equals success. But most people are working hard on the wrong things in the wrong order. That's why they burn out. That's why they chase tactics and never master outcomes. That's why they start 10 things and finish none. The real masters move differently. They know that the first domino has to fall before the second one can move. They know that sequence is the secret software of success. They don't just act. They prioritize. They trigger. They stack. And that's what you must do now. Identify the key lever first. Ask yourself, what's the one move that, if done first, makes everything else easier, cheaper, or unnecessary? That's the leverage point. That's the first line of code. Not all steps are created equal. Some are foundational. Others are cosmetic. Do not waste time fixing the paint job on a house with no foundation. Do not tweak your brand colors before you know your audience. Do not build a product before validating the pain point. Sequence equals survival. You're building a system, not just a dream. And systems run on logic, not emotion. The sequence stack, a strategic flow of action. Here's how to think about it. 1. Foundation. The identity, skill set, or tool that everything else depends on. If you're building a business, it might be mastering your offer. If you're transforming your body, it's building your diet system. If you're growing your brand, it's clarifying your message. This is the non-negotiable. Build this first, or nothing holds. Second framework, the repeatable process, the system, the container for momentum. Your daily routine, your weekly workflow, your checklists, your CRM, your training schedule. This is where chaos becomes controlled. Build the machine. Third feedback. You don't improve what you don't measure. Install tracking systems early. Metrics, KPIs, journals, feedback loops. This ensures your execution doesn't drift into delusion. Fourth refinement. Now you optimize, tweak, improve, upgrade. Not before, after you've built the system. Too many people waste energy polishing a prototype instead of testing it first. You don't perfect until the foundation proves itself. Fifth expansion. Now that the system runs, scale it. Add more products, more training, more leverage, more income, but only after the core works. You don't multiply until you stabilize. Action. Without sequence is a trap. Stop acting like every task deserves your full energy. Start acting like a programmer. You are activating lines of code. Every step must lead logically to the next. If it doesn't move the mission forward, cut it. If it doesn't unlock the next level, delay it. If it's not your priority this week, delete it. This is the discipline most people never master. Strategic restraint. The assignment. 1. Write down the outcome you're pursuing right now. Then break it down into all major steps or milestones required to achieve it. Rank the steps by logical dependency. What must happen before the next piece can work? 3. Identify the first domino. This is the step that triggers momentum across the rest. 4. Commit to executing that step with ruthless focus and nothing else until it's complete. 5. Once completed, repeat the process. Always ask, what unlocks the next stage of the code? Final words for step 5. The world doesn't reward the busiest. It rewards the most aligned. If your execution is out of order, it doesn't matter how disciplined you are. It doesn't matter how many hours you grind. You're just moving in a loop. But when your actions are sequenced like code, one aligned move at a time, you become inevitable. You are no longer reacting. You are no longer hoping. You are building a chain reaction of destiny. And now that your actions are aligned, it's time to embed that vision into your nervous system every single day. Step 6. Visualize daily with emotional voltage. Step 6. Visualize daily with emotional voltage. You've seen the dream. You've reverse engineered the outcome. You've forged the mind, constructed the environment, and sequenced the code. But now, you must install the outcome into your subconscious, permanently. Not as a wish, not as a fantasy, but as a command. And the tool that makes this possible is visualization. But not the watered-down, lukewarm, imagine and manifest trash they feed the masses. No. This is daily neuroprogramming. This is emotional warfare. This is how you embed a new operating system so deep into your being that your body, mind, and environment begin to obey without resistance. Because here's the truth. The subconscious doesn't care what's real. It cares what's repeated with emotion. If you don't actively program it with your dream, the world will gladly program it with your fears. Your subconscious is always listening. It watches what you dwell on. It records what you feel. It installs what you repeat, especially when the repetition is charged with emotion. So if every day you're feeling stressed, imagining worst-case scenarios, thinking about lack, failure, and comparison, that becomes the program. That becomes your default blueprint. And the terrifying part? You will unconsciously act to make that reality come true. This is not magic. This is mechanics. This is how human beings are built. You either use it, or it uses you. You don't need motivation. You need internal repetition. Visualization isn't hype. It's training. Every rep in your mind is a signal to your nervous system. This is what we do. This is who we are. This is what we expect. If you visualize with clarity and emotional voltage every single day, you normalize the vision. You remove the psychological distance between who you are now and who you must become. And when the dream becomes familiar, you stop resisting it. You start moving toward it automatically. This is mental rehearsal. Elite athletes use it. Special forces use it. Top CEOs and performers use it. They don't hope for results. They install them. The mind doesn't know the difference between imagination and memory. So every time you visualize with focus and emotion, you are building a memory of a future that hasn't happened yet. And when the memory is strong enough, your body follows. Your habits follow. Your external world begins to mirror the internal command. This is how you become inevitable. How to visualize like a weapon. This isn't daydreaming. This is neural engineering. 1. Carve out sacred time. First thing in the morning. Last thing before bed. These are your gateway moments, when the subconscious is most open. No distractions, no background noise, just you and the blueprint. 2. Enter the scene. Close your eyes, slow your breath, then step into the vision like it's already happened. See the version of you who already built it. Hear your voice when you speak from power. Feel the chair you sit in, the weight of the moment. What's in your bank account? Who's calling you with respect? What's your body look like in the mirror? What do your mornings feel like? This is not fantasy. This is data encoding. 3. Charge it with emotion. Here's the voltage. Without this, visualization is flat. How does it feel to be free? What does power feel like in your chest? Can you feel the gratitude, the certainty, the relief of finally becoming what they said you never would? Feel it until it burns. That's when the subconscious starts listening. 4. Speak it out loud. Lock it in with language. Use phrases like, "This is who I am now. This is my life. I already have it. I already am it. Everything is aligning because I said so." Say it like you mean it, like your life depends on it, because it does. Daily visualization becomes identity. After 30 days of this, your baseline shifts. You start walking differently, speaking with authority, making decisions from the end state, not the current state. You start turning down temptations because your dream doesn't tolerate weakness. This is how you lock in alignment. Because once your identity shifts, the actions follow without friction. You don't have to force yourself anymore. You've become the kind of person who can't not follow through. The assignment. 1. Schedule 10 minutes every morning and night for visualization. Same place, same time. No excuses. 2. Use the same vision every day for 30 days. Don't shift. Don't waver. Let it sink in. 3. Pair visualization with emotion. Crank up the voltage. Feel it until your body reacts. 4. Speak affirmations immediately after. Let the words solidify the image. 5. Throughout the day, return to the image. Mid-task, mid-walk, mid-meal. Burn it into your brain. This is mental dominance. This is mind control from the inside out. Final words for step 6. This step is how you override the lies of your past. This step is how you tell the subconscious, "We're done playing small." You can't build a dream if you're wired for limitation. You must become obsessed with the outcome. So obsessed that it becomes your new normal. Visualize it. Charge it. Install it. Because once your subconscious accepts the new reality, your body, your behavior, your world has no choice but to fall in line. And now that the vision is engraved into your soul, there's only one thing left. Step 7. Track, tweak, and reinforce until reality bends. Step 7. Track, tweak, and reinforce until reality bends. You've built the vision, mapped the reverse path, structured your mind, environment, sequence, and subconscious. But this is where warriors become legends, or become forgotten, because anyone can start. Some can execute, but almost no one has the discipline to refine, to adapt, to recalibrate under pressure, again and again, until the outcome is not just reached, but dominated. This is where dreams die in silence, not from failure, but from neglect. Because even with the right blueprint, the right vision, and the right sequence, if you don't track, tweak, and reinforce, you drift. And reality never drifts in your favor. Reality doesn't obey the first attempt. The first version of your system will fail. The first version of your habits will slip. The first version of your dream will need to evolve. And if you're not tracking, If you're not watching the feedback like a hawk, you'll keep feeding a broken machine with blind loyalty, expecting magic from mediocrity. You cannot fix what you don't measure. You cannot evolve what you don't review. You cannot master what you don't confront. That's why this step is the seal, the final phase, the discipline that separates the amateurs from the ones who bend the laws of reality. Mastery is not a straight line. It's a loop. Think of success like a system running in real time. If you just build it and walk away, it decays, it glitches, it drifts. But if you build a feedback loop, a living cycle of observation, adjustment, and reinforcement, you keep your momentum alive. You turn success from a one-time event into a permanent operating state. This is what the elite do that the masses ignore. They don't hope things will work out. They watch it, measure it, tune it, relentlessly. The three-part reinforcement cycle. Let's break it down. 1. Track ruthlessly. You cannot manage what you don't measure. Track your habits, track your income, track your time, track your inputs, track your progress, track your identity upgrades. Every goal needs a dashboard, not to impress others, but to confront yourself. Is the system working? Are you lying to yourself about progress? Are your days aligned with your outcomes? Stop guessing. Start tracking. 2. Tweak precisely. The second phase, recalibration. What's working? Do more of it. What's dead weight? Burn it. What's unclear? Simplify it. What's outdated? Update it. You're not married to a method. You're married to the mission, which means every tool, habit, process, or belief is subject to elimination if it slows you down. Don't fall in love with your system. Fall in love with the outcome, and let your system evolve to meet it. Agility is your weapon. Flexibility is your shield. 3. Reinforce relentlessly. Tracking and tweaking mean nothing if you don't reinforce the progress. Celebrate your wins, not with comfort, but with amplification. Build on every victory. Install deeper rewards into your nervous system. Reinforcement is how the subconscious learns. This is what we do now. Repetition, reward, recognition. Lock in new behavior by making it visible. Anchor your upgrades with identity statements. I'm someone who executes. I'm someone who adapts fast. I'm a builder of systems, not a slave to feelings. Reinforce the dream. Reinforce the code. Reinforce the belief that this is not some lucky streak. It's who you've become. Your new normal is built through reinforcement. If you want to live in rare air, you must normalize rare behavior. Tracking is how you see yourself clearly. Tweaking is how you sharpen your edge. Reinforcement is how you become undeniable. That's the loop. That's the game. That's how the blueprint hardens into reality. The assignment. 1. Create a weekly review ritual. Pick a day and time. Same slot every week. Lock it in. 2. During the review, answer. What did I track this week? Where did I drift? What needs adjustment? What am I reinforcing with action? 3. Set micro goals for the next 7 days. Make them non-negotiable. Make them measurable. 5. Create a personal progress board. Could be digital or physical. Watch your systems build real-time results. It'll keep you hungry and grounded. 5. Share results with someone you trust, or post them somewhere visible. Public accountability burns away laziness. Final words for step 7. This is not the end. This is the forever loop. You don't finish this process. You become it. Because the truth is brutal. Dreams don't fail because they're impossible. They fail because they were never reinforced. You will never drift to greatness. You must track toward it, tweak toward it, reinforce your way into it, until your external world is forced to catch up to your internal commands. And when that happens, reality bends. Not because you're lucky, not because you're gifted, but because you built it to obey. You ran the code. You adjusted the system. You stayed in the loop. And you became undeniable. Now go live like the outcome is already written. Because if you've mastered these 7 steps, it is. This was never about the dream. It was about who you had to become. You wanted a dream. You came here looking for a roadmap, a way to take the unseen and drag it into reality. But now you know the truth. This was never just about building the dream. This was about becoming the architect who could hold it without breaking. Most people walk through life as spectators, begging for signs, waiting for motivation, trapped in the illusion that the dream is out there somewhere. But you just woke up. You now understand that everything you want already exists. Right now. In potential. In blueprint. Encoded behind layers of fear, misalignment, and confusion. But it's not locked. It's sequenced. You downloaded the vision with precision. You reverse-engineered the outcome with ruthless logic. You installed the mental models that weaponize your thinking. You destroyed and rebuilt your environment to match the level of your future. You sequenced your actions like code. No wasted moves. No chaos. You visualized the outcome with emotional voltage until your subconscious began to obey. And you locked in a cycle of tracking, tweaking, and reinforcement until reality had no choice but to bend. You didn't find your dream. You extracted it. You didn't build success. You installed it. You didn't hope for change. You became the change algorithm itself. Because this isn't manifestation. This is execution. This is war. And your life is the battlefield. Now understand this. The game never ends. There is no finish line. No final boss. No throne of comfort waiting for you. There's only another version of you. Stronger, smarter, more disciplined, running the code faster, sharper, deeper. And every day you either drift or you return to the sequence. Every day you choose whether to bow to old identity or rebuild it. Every day you decide to be the one who collapses under pressure or the one who turns pressure into diamonds. So here's the final command. Don't just remember these 7 steps. Burn them into your identity. Let them become your second nature, your compass, your firewall, your foundation. So when the world throws chaos, delay, confusion, or pain, you don't crack. You calibrate. You don't run. You recode. You don't wait for the dream to arrive. You drag it out of the unseen with your bare hands. Because you are no longer a dreamer. You are no longer a drifter. You are no longer waiting for life to happen. You are the blueprint. You are the builder. And now, you are the weapon. So go create what they said was impossible. No more delays. No more doubt. The sequence is in your hands. Execute, or be executed. Welcome to the other side.